What you should know about your students with disabilities.
Groups of students walk across a college campus.
College is an exciting, challenging time. For students with disabilities, college can be even more challenging as they learn about self-advocacy, requesting accommodations, and navigating not only new spaces, but also new relationships with peers and faculty. As faculty, you'll probably receive accommodation letters from the campus disability office regarding students in your classes.
A student in a wheelchair eats with other students.
Since students can be reluctant to talk with faculty about barriers they experience due to disabilities, we asked a few computing students to share. Here's what they had to say.
Text, Sarah, Computer Science.
One thing I wish my professors knew about students with disabilities is that we have the same capacity for success, just that success may take a different path. There have been so many times in my life where I've successfully fought against the dreaded no, it's not possible, but I wonder how many people stop after those first 10 no's. The thing is that when you're disabled, sometimes it's easier to agree with others because you are constantly shown how the world around you is not built for you, but just because that may be true, it doesn't mean that it's not possible to thrive in it.
Text, Kristen, Computer Science.
If I could share something with my professors about their students with disabilities, I'd want them to know, not all disabilities are visible, but the struggles we experience are still valid.
Text, Pranav, Electrical and Computer Engineering.
One thing I wish my professors knew about the students with disabilities is recognizing their diverse learning styles and create an inclusive environment not just inside the classroom but also outside the classroom.
An instructor demonstrates an activity to students.
Faculty can help create a more successful experience in the classroom for all students by applying principles of universal design and learning. UDL, which can reduce the accommodation needs for students with disabilities, is a teaching approach that works to accommodate the needs and abilities of all learners.
Text, Will, Cybersecurity.
One thing I wish my professors knew about students with disabilities is being visually impaired, I can't always see their body language.
Text, Livia, Computer Science and English.
Taking breaks during class helps me be more present when I come back, even if it requires me to be away from the classroom a little bit. And it means I learn more because I feel more centered.
Students with certain types of disabilities may need more clarification on the purpose of an assignment and more clarity on instructions. Like many students, they may be reluctant to make an appointment or visit during office hours. Consider being more direct in checking in and in inviting them to attend office hours for additional feedback and support.
A student in a wheelchair uses a tablet during class. Text, Drew, Computer Science.
Is my work does not usually reflect how much effort I have put into a class. I spend a lot of time teaching myself the content covered in a class in a manner that is comprehensible to me. I have issues with verbal comprehension and due to sensory processing issues. I have difficulty regulating my attention and my nervous system. I have hyperlexia, which makes it hard to read text-heavy slides without feeling completely overwhelmed. I often use YouTube videos and web tutorials to teach myself content from classes and break them down into smaller pieces. The tutoring center doesn't always know how to work with people who have my kind of learning disabilities, so that can be its own challenge to navigate. I'm very effective at teaching myself, but I'm not the most effective learner in a classroom setting, in part because I have issues with verbal processing and reading through lots of documentation. As a result of this, professors often think I'm lazy, even when I'm doing more work on average than most of my peers.
A sign language interpreter during a lecture.
Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, students with disabilities have the right to reasonable accommodations. Accommodations are designed to provide equal access to students with disabilities. They are not intended to lower academic standards or provide advantages to students with disabilities.
Text, ABI, Information Science and Technology.
When we ask for accommodations, we're not asking for favors, special treatments, or being lazy. We are simply asking for accommodations to help us be the best student we can be, despite any struggles we may face.
Text, Alexandra, Human-Computer Interaction.
One key thing I wish professors knew about students with disabilities, especially hidden ones like hearing loss, is the importance of being on the same page for necessary accommodations while respecting privacy. It's really wonderful when professors will proactively follow up and email or discreetly discuss accommodations in person so we're on the same page. But many professors who, of course, have good intentions have accidentally spoken extremely loud when addressing my accommodations or inadvertently announcing my disability.
Text, Nikhil, Computer Science.
One thing I wish my professor knew about students with disabilities is that we want to learn and be successful just like everyone else. And asking for accommodations is our primary way of asking for help.
Students with disabilities can be successful in computing fields, and you can help support them through consideration of universal design and some of the strategies suggested here.
Cart captions scroll on a large monitor.
This presentation was created by the National Science Foundation Broadening Participation in Computing Alliance, Access Computing, which works to increase the participation of people with disabilities in computing fields. For more resources about supporting computing students with disabilities, consult uw.edu/accesscomputing. This work is supported by the National Science Foundation grant number 2137312. Any opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this material are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Science Foundation. Copyright 2024, University of Washington. Permission is granted to copy this material for non-commercial purposes, provided the source is acknowledged.